Sometimes things work out as you've planned it, but sometimes they don't. That is the reality many times that we face as we are homeschooling our children. And we are currently at that mid-year mark where I think many of us are making evaluations of what's working, what's not, looking at adjustments for the second half of the year. If you've seen our curriculum choices videos, you know that this year our family is using several new curriculum. And I wanted to take the opportunity to do sort of a mid-year review to talk about what's working, what's not in regards to that new curriculum. The 4 curriculum that I'm going to be talking about: language lessons for Living Education Level 4, God's Design for the Physical World by Master Books, Christian Kids Explore Earth and Space. Last but not least, we'll also take a look at Uncle Sam and You by Notgrass History. The 3 things that we'll talk about as the curriculum worked for us. 2, will we use it again? And 3, I will let you know if we've already done a flip through of this curriculum or if we plan on doing one in the future. I wanted to just say that every family is different. So some things that may work for us may not work for you. Some things that maybe haven't worked so well for us may be exactly what you need. So please take this with a grain of salt, understanding that every family is different, every child is different. And I'm hoping that with sharing this, it can be helpful to someone. All right, well, let's get into the mid-year curriculum review. The first curriculum I wanted to talk about was Master Books Language Lessons for Living Education Level 4. When I shared in our curriculum choices for our 4th grader, I shared that this was going to serve as our core for language arts for him. This is the first time using this curriculum, and I was trying something different. Historically, we always had used Abeka. I mentioned in that video that we were going to be using this together with the end of Abeka Language 3, as well as some other resources. If you haven't seen that video, I'll be sure to link it because I think it'll make a lot more sense once you understand kind of what was our plan for this curriculum. So has it worked? I would say yes and no. So it has worked. We are still using it, but not in the way maybe that I had intended us to use it originally. So the way that this curriculum is set up is that there are 5 days. Day 1 is the reading day. Day 2 is the grammar day. Day 3 is the writing day. Day 4 is kind of like a handwriting and reading day. And day 5 is the spelling day. That's kind of how it's laid out overall, pretty much. So what we have ended up doing is we are still using it for, I would say, day 1, day 4, and day 5. So we're still using the reading, we're still using the handwriting portion, and we're using the spelling. What we are not using is their grammar and writing. We have decided to exclusively stick with the end of the Abeka 3 book for grammar and for language. Why? It's pretty much because I found, at least enough for us, that the way that topics were introduced in the grammar, there wasn't that much review. It's like they would go from one topic and then they really wouldn't talk about that again till the next week. Because there wasn't grammar every single day, there wasn't enough review for our son. So for him specifically, Abeka works much better because what they do is that they introduce a topic and every single day for about a week, they're working on that. So if they're talking about action verbs, every day they're talking about action verbs. And so that is really solidified for them. In Master Books, I feel like it goes quickly through the different topics with not enough review for each of the grammar topics, if that makes sense. But we are using it. And I wanted to show you specifically an example of some of the things that we do love and are using in the curriculum. So I mentioned that day 1 is kind of a reading day or a picture study. So they have really great picture studies where you can look at the picture with your child and they have questions below. So it really is great for observation skills. Another picture study that we also do as well. So we could look at the picture study and then answer some of the questions like, who are the people in the picture? What are they doing? What do you think they're feeling? So it's really, really great in that way. Also nice activities for reading. This is a nice little rhyming activity that your child can do. Again, what we're not doing is the grammar piece. So day 2, we are not doing. Day 3. So day 2 and day 3, we are kind of skipping through, not really doing. And we are going to day 4. Day 4 is really a fun day because they are using this 101 favorite stories. This book kind of, you work with it with the curriculum. So they would read through this, and then this picture that's here, he colors it or recreates it right here in this box. He really has enjoyed that. He also does some copy work here. That's great for handwriting. So we do day 4, and then day 5 is the spelling list. So we are using their spelling list with their spelling activities. So like I said, we are using it. It's working kind of not. We are using it for reading. We are using it for writing. We are using it for spelling, but we are no longer using it for grammar and composition. Would we use it again? Unfortunately, I think no for our specific family, just because I think that to have such a big book and not be able to use all of it, it's not necessarily meeting our specific family needs. However, if there are a lot of fun activities in here, so if there is a grammar topic that goes with what he's studying in Abeka, I may add in some of these activities also to get the most out of the curriculum and also add some variety into his work. But we will not be probably using that specific curriculum again. I'm also not going to do a detailed flip through, like I said, just because we're not going to be using it again in the future. The second curriculum I want to talk about is also by Master Books. This is God's Design for the Physical World. So we have used this curriculum in the past, sort of. So this curriculum used to be created by Answers in Genesis, and they had the availability of having these 3 kind of sub books split out. So I've done a couple reviews for the books that we have used. We use their chemistry and ecology books. I've also done a review on their human anatomy course. So we really have enjoyed that. But this is the first time that we used a Master Books version, which kind of combines all the books into one. This is the teacher key, but the student book looks pretty similar. Has it worked for us? Yes, it has worked for us. This is a science curriculum that our oldest son, our 8th grader, is using exclusively. He's using it very independently. So in the way that we need it to work for us, it's working well. So what he does is he reads the lesson independently, he does the questions, and then we review them. And then once a week I sit with him, we go through all of the topics. Many times we'll read through the lessons aloud and discuss the different things. And for him, because he's working so independently with this, it has worked very well. Again, we have used other curriculum by this company or this specific science before. Both of those have worked well. So this has worked very well. So would we use it again? Yes, we would. This has worked very well for our family. I have not done a review yet of this, but I do hope in the next few weeks to be able to do more of a detailed flip through of this specific curriculum. The third curriculum I wanted to take a look at is Christians Kids Explore Earth and Space. So this is a brand new company, brand new curriculum for us. We had never used it. We are currently using it with our younger 2 sons. So that is our 6th grader and our 4th grader they are using it together. Has it worked for us? Yes. Most definitely it has. We really have enjoyed it. So much so that when I was talking to the boys about curriculum choices for next year, yes, I gave them several options of different sciences that they could choose from for next year, and they both said we want to use this again. So we actually are going to continue with the Christian Kids Explore Science for next year with another one of their studies, just because the boys have truly enjoyed it. It's very hands-on. It's nice kind of for that group work. So if you have multiple children in different age levels, I think this would be really fun. I have not done a flip through yet of this curriculum, but again, it's another one that I definitely will do. So you can keep an eye out for that if you'd like more detail of how it's laid out, different components of it. But again, it has worked very well, and we definitely would use it again in the future. The last curriculum that's new for us this year is the Uncle Sam and You Civics course by Notgrass History. We're using this with all 3 of our boys this year. It is a middle school curriculum, so it's meant more for 5th to 8th graders, but we are using it with our 4th grader with some modifications. I did talk also more about those modifications in our 4th graders curriculum choices. So again, if you haven't seen our 4th graders curriculum choices, I'll be sure to link that so you can check out that video that has more of that detail. Has this worked for us this year? Yes, it has. So I've shared in the past that our family truly enjoys using the Mystery of History. We've done their volume 1, also their volume 4, and we look forward to continuing with that curriculum. But this year, I wanted to take a break from world history to do some U.S. civics, really for our oldest son, our 8th grader, before he goes into high school. This was the first time we'd used Notgrass History, our first time with this company, and it has worked so well. We really have enjoyed it. Would we use it again? Yes, definitely. I actually plan on using the same curriculum again when our youngest son, our 4th grader, is in 8th grade. Again, because some of this may be a little bit over his head, because it's meant more for middle schoolers, I'm definitely going to be using this again with him when he is in the 8th grade. I actually have already done a detailed flip through curriculum review of this curriculum, so if you haven't seen that, I'll be sure to link that in case you'd like a more detailed look of the layout of this curriculum. Okay, so that is the mid-year review for us of the new curriculum to us for this year. Pray that you and your family are having a wonderful homeschool year. At this mid-year point, be one of reevaluating, refreshing, renewing, refocusing. Pray that you and your family are well. I pray you are blessed. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to talking to you soon.